me know if the audio is fine, if the background music and my voice is fine. And of course, if you're watching this in the future, like if you're watching this in the VOD, just know everything I talked about will be timestamped in the comments and in the description. So today we'll be going over, of course, the Bahamut, the new EM Mecha guide. I should have been doing this last week, but I was busy, so I just had to what's called do it now. So yeah, so hi everybody. Let me know if there's anything that should change before anything happens. So okay, hold on. Let me also go on my other stuff to check. Mic test, mic test. I hope everything is fine. Yeah, definitely tell me if anything. Wait, why is the? hang on, hang on, hang on. I don't know why I'm only streaming it to Twitch. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure everything is fine. All right. Hello, welcome. Hello. Is okay on the YouTube side. Is everything fine? Because right now it seems like something is going wrong. Oh my god, hang on. hello, back. Welcome. Yeah, tell me if it's fine on tell me if it's fine on YouTube side. Because right now, I don't know if oh wait, hold on. What's the mouth not moving? I don't know what's going on, but again, I just hope it's going on. I can see the video. Oh, okay. Is it good now? It's good now. Again, just want to make sure everything is fine because there isn't anything on YouTube side. So okay, you know what? I'm gonna go on my phone on YouTube just to make sure things is fine. All right, okay, awesome. Okay, I think it's good now. I think. All right, anyway, you're just freezing. Yeah. Oh well, it was mainly because my I had my screen on. So anyway, but yeah. So today we'll be going over Bahamut. It's a very interesting mecha, and there is also a lot to talk about because it is a mecha that is good in both PvP and PvE. However, there are something that I want to go more in depth about, especially on the build, because I don't think I did a really good explanation and a guide, about it on my build test video. So yeah, it's fine. All right. Anyway, well, while we're waiting for people to come, I just want to say again, if you're watching this in the future, everything I talked about will be timestamped and comes in the description. Or if you want to rewatch the stream, you can also just go to the timestamp when I talk about the builds or when I talk about the mecha. So, and well, you know what? Let's start with some news. There isn't that much news because it is Chinese New Year in NC. So, I mean, there are some news, and there's also a pretty big news that happened in EN, the 666 road incident, which everything should be which everything should be solved once the staff come back on the 18th, and there will be some rollbacks. I mean, of course, the thing that you already have won't be affected. The only thing that will be affected are, the extra things that you might have gotten from the free rolls. So yeah. But that only applies to people who did get a free roll. So yeah, just don't worry about it. If you didn't got affected by the incident, then the only thing that there wouldn't be anything that'll be taken away from you, and you will also get a compensation for the incident. So no, it's fine. Again, those things will be taken back after the New Year, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I just want to get this out of the way before people comment and stuff like that. And just some other news, of course. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I have this campaign code that you can get in to get some rewards. And of course, there's this new character apparently, or new skin that in the NC art, which is kind of interesting. I didn't pay attention to the stories, but this character looks pretty strong. It looks like the same faction or the same whatever thing. Yeah, or whatever. It doesn't seem like I. It probably is like this. It probably is a character that has the same species as I, which can be pretty interesting because I do really like her skills and stuff. So, and of course, I have been doing more ASMR on my other channel. So if you guys are interested, just go on to the definitely go on to the thing. Also, why is my mouth not moving? Hold on. Mic test. All right, awesome. Okay, that should be good now. And of course, there's some more detail. Like for example, I got a new Power War server. If anyone want to play on it, it will be up 24/7. And there's just and there are just a lot more that I can just check using this post. So, and of course, happy Lunar New Year and happy Valentine's Day and all that. All right, so let's start on Bahamut. Actually, let me see how many people are here. No, let me check. Exchange of solar rings. 10 people. You know what? All right, let's just start. So Bahamut. A very interesting mecha. A lot of people joke that it is a fake range, and obviously it is not. It is inspired by, of course, you know, the Bahamut from Final Fantasy 16 or whatever. But anyway, let's talk about how strong, and how interesting this mecha is. So starting from its HP and its weight, very heavy, which is pretty good because, you know, being heavy is always better in this game, so you get less bounce back, and there are some skills like you'll be less affected by, you know, by collision, and you'll also do more damage when you're colliding with the enemy, or when the skill, you know, scale damage with the weight. So, and of course HP 8000, which is pretty interesting for a long range mecha, which this unit is, again, people did joke about it is a fake long range mecha, which is half true, I guess. But most of a lot of DPS, like, you know, some fake range meta, a lot of the melee, a lot of the damage still come from melee, but this for Bahamut, some damage actually, or a lot of damage does come from its range attacks. So yeah, honestly, a mid range would be more, you know, accurate for Bahamut, because even for his melee attack, the sweep, he does a melee and he just jump backs like for the whole map. So yeah. Alright, so now let's start on. Okay, also I will be answering questions after I talk about, like, after I finish talking about some of the things, because I don't want to stop and answer all the questions. But I'll be answering all of the questions after I talk about, you know, some things afterwards. Alright, so also let me make the chat bigger because there's no chat on the wiki side. So yeah. Well, welcome, yeah, welcome everybody who just came. Yeah, welcome. Good morning, or good night. So, all right, what do you get? Yeah, there's no, because again, the 666 rule are a bug, and everything will be fixed. Like those people who did get, you know, free stuff, or that did get stuff from the rules, their extra units will be taken back when the staff come back. It might take a little bit, but all of them will be taken back. So yeah, don't worry about it. So, alright, so let's start from its chassis. Now, its chassis is pretty interesting, especially, like, you'll see why. Final damage value received minus 25%, that's always pretty good, again, because, oh, actually, yeah, it's final damage value. So now, final damage and final damage value could mean different things, because, you know, final damage value always comes after firm steals. So, you know, it minus damage from the final damage value are pretty OP, so. Or I would say it's stronger than final damage received minus 25%. And of course, inflicting debuff upon all enemies minus 15%, or minus HP by 15%. Now, this skill works against PvE bosses, as I'm sure everyone who used my team have already noticed that when you're using my team, even though my team might have done like 15% damage or 20% damage, it will add on 15% because this skill works with pretty much all, if not like most, if not all, the boss in the game, which is pretty awesome. And of course, you know, this will also work in PvP because, you know, having just able to kill 15% of HP for the enemy teams are always good. And of course, this skill doesn't minus 15% HP, as in like it will just deal the damage to the opponents. It literally minus their max HP by 50%, which is even stronger. So like they couldn't heal that 15% HP back. So yeah. So very, very powerful, and this skill alone makes Bahamut a must-have in PvP. In PvE, because, you know, just the free 15% damage. That's, you know, any mech, like any PvE team would need this skill, even if you're just using Bahamut as a funnel. Bahamut itself can do huge damage to the PvE boss, can be a DPS. However, this skill alone can already makes it, you know, a must-have in PvE, I should say. And I don't see this skill being outdated anytime soon, because again, unless the mecha that they pull out can can one-shot the boss, which they really wouldn't do because they want PvE players to WoW now, this skill would just simply never go outdated, similar to Hraesvelgur's skill that's still being used as a funnel in PvE. So this skill is honestly just a very good skill to have. And so that's what a lot of people this say, even if you get one copy of Bahamut, it'll be worth it because of this skill. But you're really using Bahamut in a different way if you are getting one copy for it, because again, Bahamut does need A star, which is quite expensive, and I'll get into why it needs A star. So. Alright, so yeah, and of course, the second part of the first chassis, So, and of course, all enemy stats minus 50%, which is pretty good because, stats contribute to final damage and final defense. Minusing the 50% pilot stats, especially where, awakened pilots have over 1,000 stats, can be a really good debuff for the enemy as well. So even in PvP, the skill are very, very powerful. Now for the second part, which is the OP part for the PvP part, enemy that targets Bahamut will have their action CD extended by 2-second activation interval of 5 seconds. Similar to Lilith, I should say. The skill also is like if the enemy is targeting Bahamut, then they'll get debuffed. And as I have said many times, action CD are the bloodline, or are what makes your unit able to do things, right? In PvP. So anything to screw with that, anything to extend that, or anything to just prevent your enemy from using action skill are broken, which is why you will pretty much always see Wusheng sometimes coming back, because again, anything to screw with enemies action CD cooldown are very, very powerful. Of course, it's not as strong as Lilith, where it just make your enemy just start spinning, but it is still a very, very strong skill to have. And for example, if the enemy is targeting Bahamut, and Bahamut will reduce their action CD by 2%. That means when Bahamut is targeted, there will be at least a 2-second window before the enemy can activate any skills, making a Bahamut actually a good support carrier. So you can put on Rhea or some other pilot on it that might have a problem surviving, because again, if the enemy targets Bahamut, even if they have a charged skill, they are not able to activate it right away because the minus 2-second action cooldown. So this actually, honestly, put it on par with Lilith as well, because Lilith does make him spin for about 2 seconds when you do target him. So very, very strong. And of course, that skill minus 2 seconds for all the skills. So again, yeah, there's no way the enemy can activate anything if it does target Bahamut. So yeah. And the activate interval are quite fast too. 5 seconds. That's a pretty short time for this strong of a skill. Alright, and now for the second chassis, final damage value plus 30%. Again, I have said before, final damage goes before firm steel. Final damage value goes after firm steel. So this in PvP is, this is good in both PvP and PvE, because in PvE is just plus 30% more damage, and in PvP it is plus 30% more damage after firm steel. So very, very strong as well. Pretty much guarantee it to also do good damage in PvP too. So, and increase the final damage dealt to the enemy when the beam and Ian attribute hits are targeted or are attacked, I guess, alternatively according to his source. So basically, just when they are applied at the same time, the 30% final damage dealt will be doubled essentially. But let me check the NC text, because again, Ian have weird text sometimes. I just want to make sure if everything is right. Yeah. Again, I'll be answering all of the questions after I finish talking about the TLDR, and then I'll be going to his builds. And after I talk about the builds, I'll be answering all of the questions. So, alright, so hold on. Let me just go to Bahamut to make sure everything's fine. Okay, yeah, so Ian translation is a bit wrong, because increased final damage dealt when that's not true. It's the first skill, the final damage value dealt plus 30% is doubled when EM and Beam are targeted alternatively. So yeah. And of course that's also very good, basically plus 30%, or it doesn't plus 30%, it plus 30%, or it's like it plus 30% and then it will increase stat damage also by 30%. So in the end, it adds about 69% more final damage dealt when Beam and Ian does the damage together. So that's how it works. But again, Ian text, there's always a mistranslation. We can't really stop on that. So anyway, just know that the chassis are a must-have for both PvP and PvE as well, because they guarantee you to do damage in both PvP and PvE. And of course, in PvE, that's especially better because you are not gonna miss out. Like the reason why Bahamut can also be a DPS is because it can get up to 69% final damage value dealt. So yeah. Alright, so now for its weaponry. Now its weaponry is actually quite important as well, unlike some other mecha, of course. First two weapon being the 5-star fist. That means you can have access to super robot fist. Super robot fists are always better. Are always like if you have 5-star fist in your weaponry, usually using super robot fist will be a better choice in PvE because it just do so much damage. So that's also really good. And of course, being a fist melee, this also open up its ability to be able to use claws in PvP. However, I'll get into why claws is not good in PvP on Bahamut, because I mean, pretty sure most people knows why, but just know that it does give the option to do so, and having more options is always better. So. And then we have a lot of more weapons. Now these weapons are pretty good because most of them will activate during their evasive skill. It's always better that the enemies are like they will shoot while they're evading as well, because you're dodging. Also, you're also doing some damage to the enemies, so that's always good. And of course the Mega, and just know that some of the weapon does not, some if not most of the weapon does not trigger its second chassis, so you'll only get the 30% final damage value dealt. But most of its powerful skill can get the benefit from the 69% final damage dealt. So. And then nothing else is that like I would say nothing is that that was called that special. That should say it's just your standard high damage, high DPS weapons. So yeah, not bad. And I do have to say, well, hold on. It does have a weapon that doesn't state in. Well, it's probably not weapons. It's more of its weapon tied with its abilities. But just know it does have some other quote unquote weapons, but it really ties with its action, which I'll get into that. Alright, so now on to its unique abilities. So sweep. Now it's kind of funny how some of these things work. It's a ranged mecha, but most of its action are kind of melee focused, and you just say it is melee and just teleport back. I don't know why, because melee in this game are usually better in PvP because if units is melee, generally the dev will add some defensive abilities onto it. But for range units, they kind of like or to make it as if it is a range unit, they just have an action that makes it teleport back instantly, which is kind of funny. But so I don't know. There isn't much different now. Oh, actually, it doesn't really tie into a weapon, but just know that thing is like a 600 times 15 huge beam, which is pretty strong, and it is also its last weapon. So yeah. To be honest, aside from most of its actions, does melee damage as well, there isn't much else to say. Aside from when you're building these units, right? Buffing both melee and range unit works because it really does it really does high damage in both PvP and it really does high damage in both how do you say, in both melee and in range damage. So I don't know. It's like how do you say? It's just like when you're building this unit, or for PvE at least, yeah. For PvE, I mean, for PvP, obviously you want to build it for survivability. But in PvE, if you want to build this unit, if you're wondering, oh, is everything melee or is everything ranged? Just know that it's both. Like when it goes in, obviously it's melee, but the thing is shoots out like for this one, or for the swords, like for example, for example, this one, the swords that it shoot out are considered ranged. Both of them does huge damage, and it's really up to you to decide, it's really up to you to decide, or it's up to you it's it's up to what you have to build accordingly. Otherwise, a lot of these skills are just copy and paste from like Bahamut in Final Fantasy, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, the only thing though, but better say though, I don't think you have a lot of grabs. That means in PvP, it can have a tough time doing huge damage to the enemies. However, because of however, it doesn't really need to do damage when it already do minus 15% on enemies. And if the enemies are already in a grab or did get caught by one of these attacks, then they can pretty much get one-shotted, depending on your builds. But yeah, not having a grab kind of is a detriment to it. But this unit is not a brawler anyway, so yeah, it's not that much of a downside. So, and of course, some of his weapons are also can also apply EM attribute, which can be pretty good into this meta because I don't think anyone is really running full immune anymore. So yeah. Alright, so I think that should cover most thing about Bahamut. Oh, and of course I talk about that for its evasive skill and defensive skill, most of the activate its range attacks, which again is a really good thing to have for pretty much most range units. Alright, yeah, I think that's everything for the unit. So for Bahamut, right? Everything about it is good. It's good in PvP, it's good in PvE, you have decent survivability, and you have decent, offensive abilities. However, and you even have some CC effects. However, it really is, how do you say it? It really is, like, as much I would recommend this one, this unit does require 6-star to function, because for a 6-star weapon, it will require, for example, hold on, I'm gonna use mine. So, for example, right, actually, hold on, yeah, for a 6-star weapon, it does open up 2 of its weapons. So even its weapons are quite important. So for free-to-play players, I highly recommend you stay for the next mecha that's coming up. That is Qitian. It might come up next month or the month after next, or eventually. So I would highly recommend you stay for that unit instead of Bahamut, because Bahamut is really just how do I say? It's strong, but it really lacks the oomph to carry to carry new players through stories. I feel like because in the end, it does not brawl. I should say it does not brawl. If you face Bahamut in a 1v1, in a 1v1 situations, even in some challenges that you might face in stories, Bahamut can fall short on that. So I really recommend getting something like Qitian or something at least before getting Bahamut. Or like if you want to get Bahamut, make sure you save up enough for Qitian that's coming next, or for the Gaogaigar, or for Gaogaigar, or for Mazinger Zero's, or for Mazinger Zero. Because Bahamut doesn't get outdated in NC for like it is still used in NC in PvP. However, for new players, this unit is not a necessity, because the only time, and even though people do say, oh, you can just get one copy so you can funnel the unit, but without a good team, you are still like, you're not gonna be like, it's not worth it to funnel against poster bosses, because poster bosses, after you play for a little bit, you should be able to one-shot most poster bosses pretty easily, and the only time that you want to funnel bosses are when you're fighting against something like conquest bosses, but those can already be done by top players' teams. So there's really no reason to really get Bahamut if you're a free player, I feel like. So yeah, or if you're new players. For free to play, I would say it's still a tall order for free to play to have, but it's if you're a vet that have a lot of things saved up, then yeah, Bahamut can be a good thing to get. But just know that Qitian, Qitian, Gaogaigar, Mazinger Zero, or the mecha after Mazinger Zero, and the mecha after Gaogaigar. Well, after Gaogaigar was Mazinger. But just know that the future mecha, like future Mecha that's coming soon are better for free to play and are better for new player to get instead of Bahamut. But just know Bahamut is still very strong. It's extremely strong, but it is just a high investment. So. Alright, so enough about Bahamut as a unit. Let's get into builds, and also let me answer some questions. Also, there are also some Twitch thing on Twitch. I've been waiting for a long time. Going, yeah. Hello, welcome. Alright, so let me answer some questions. I missed a ton, so okay, okay. I missed too much, I think. So yeah, I think I answered all of them. My Bahamut always die first. That's okay. That's usually like for Bahamut. Well, I'll get into the builds once maybe to help you with that. But yeah. Let's go to Yuyu. Okay, so I don't think there's much. 7-star Baha gets weapon first. Oh, for Bahamut, still get action first. Yeah, action is still more important. However, if you're gonna get 7-star Bahamut, you might as well go for 8. Yeah, if you are going to get more than 5-star Bahamut, you might as well go for 8. Yeah, 6-star Bahamut doesn't really do anything. 7-star Bahamut does something, but it's not. It really. If you're already getting 7-star, you might as well get 8. That's the reason why I say it's a tall order. You either have 5-star or you either get 8-star. There's no in between. No, everything in between are honestly a waste. So yeah, definitely get either 5-star or 8-star. No in between. So yeah, this is the reason why I say again it's tall order for free to play or for free to play or new players. That's why I said that. So yeah, saving yeah, okay, yeah. Just get to the timestamp and I'll get to it. So alright, so well, you know what? Let's get into the builds since you are asking for it. So I'm gonna start with PvE builds. So PvE build is something like this. Something like this will definitely work. So for the core, obviously you want to use Majin core for more for more DPS or for more fire damage stackings. And of course you can and of course, if the boss is easy, you can also one-shot the boss much faster by having a faster recharge. And also, I'll get into the different pilots too after I talk about the build. So, and then for the oh yeah, and there isn't really any other core that I should use aside from Majin core. So yeah, and now for the bullets, obviously just fist. There isn't really any reason to use any other fist or to use any other bullets because none of them will really add more damage compared to the fist. And the fist does not increase damage. Like, the fist does not increase just, melee damage. It increases damage for everything, essentially, when you're using alt or X alt, right? So, that means its range attack will also get buffed when they are using, their alt and X alt. So, and then for the support, this is the time where there are more, I guess, there are more choice that can go for. So you can go for the fist, the purple fist, or you can go for the green fist for more melee damage. Because again, Bahamut does damage for both melee and for both the melee damage and the range damage will do will do well in PvE as a DPS. Or you can go for this one. I don't know what this one is called in English, but hold on, let me just go check that out real quick. Where is it? Parts. Support. Yeah, or you can go for fire control amplifiers because increase super weapon. Oh god. Increase super weapon and main armament and main armament attack. As you know, it does have strong main armament attack. I believe a lot of its weapon does increase or is count as a mega weapon as well. As you can see, it's 2 powerful weapons. So that can also do and those damage can also be buffed. So yeah, so this is something that can work as well. And of course, it does have missed out and does have thunder weapon that can also be buffed using these parts. But personally, I will just go with I might go with this more, but I'm just putting this here just to show that this can work as well. So But if you want to go for more, I guess, free-to-play route and just like more worth it route, you can just use Green Park because the Green Park is honestly just more cost-effective, I should say. So yeah. But let me put this thing back on. And then now for the armor, obviously I will just go with Firm Steel. Unless your pilot already have a Firm Steel skill, then you can go for Fork. But usually you want to go for usually you want to go for Firm Steel. And if you maybe you can also go for the counter armor, because but honestly it might be better for it to just do its normal attack instead of having faster counters. So yeah. And then depending on the pilot, what usually you'll want to use Bahamut code in PvE, because the pilot that you're using Bahamut on are usually pilot that will also get a damage buff when you're using active skill. So Bahamut code is usually the thing that you want to get. But if your pilot does not require active skill, then of course just go with what's it called, this the aggro code, and that will work as well. So yeah, alright, so that should be the parts. And now for the pets. For the pets, honestly, just go for scorpions, because the scorpion can just make you do extra damage and also apply more CC abilities. As you can see that Bahamut can also do multi-hits damage and just overall do a lot of damage. So yeah, just more DPS and CC abilities. And of course, if you don't have scorpion, then you want to go for something like this one. I don't know what this is called. It might not even be Ian yet, but this one is also something that you can go for. And you can obviously go for other ones like Flaming Rabbit, but I would say Flaming Rabbit is probably better on a unit that spam even more actions. But it is a choice that if you don't have any other options. So and for other ones, honestly, just put on most offensive attacks pets on, and you should be fine. But I'm just putting on Scorpion because again, Scorpion are very strong, and if you're even free to play, you should be able to get starlight badges from from the usual starlight badges that they open up for redeem, and you should always get a Scorpion because it is just a very useful pet. And now for the competitive skill, honestly, just anything that is attack. So first of all, Greta will be the best one because Greta does give the most amount of final damage increase. And if you don't have Greta, you can obviously go for something like Professionalism from Judith or from Victoria. And if you don't have, or if your pilot that you're using on doesn't have either of these, like for example, if you're using Charlotte on the pilot, then you can obviously go for something that does even more damage, like for example, what I'm using it. Or yeah, for example, like support just to buff your team's damage more, or just some other skill that can potentially buff your damage more, and that will work as well. So, but the thing about Elaine is that, right? Oh yeah, let me get the pilot here as well. So the thing about Elaine is that Elaine increased damage overall, because it increases, final damage. Increased final damage. So it doesn't, specialize on either. So it doesn't matter if it's melee or range units. So or range damage. It will buff them regardless. But if you're using something like Charlotte on it, Charlotte only really affects range attacks. So its melee damage wouldn't really get buffed. So even though Charlotte is a good pilot on, or is a usable pilot on Bahamut as well, but Elaine is a bit more worth it because you just get more damage increase from that. You can even use Linda on it. You can even use Linda on it, but same thing. Linda only increases melee damage, but not the range damage. So basically half of your DPS would not be increased. But for Elaine, both of them is fair game. So that's why, in my opinion, Elaine are the best. I don't even think it's for opinion like that. I think Elaine is the best pilot for Bahamut in PvE. However, Elaine does fall off in the meta or in the PvE meta, mainly because they are just mainly because of they are just irreplaceable units, I should say, or irreplaceable pilots. So most people does switch to Charlotte, not because Charlotte is better, it's because Charlotte's skills, like Charlotte's active skill, are very strong CC abilities. So a lot of people did switch to Charlotte after, like, for example, the meta team will be Linda as a melee DPS, Charlotte plus Bahamut, Slokai on like Horus, and Ashima on Ushan Retrofit. And even though Elaine still can do more DPS on Bahamut, but because it is very important that the boss did get controlled by Charlotte's active skill, so there's no room for Elaine. But for now, if you just want to do DPS, honestly, both Charlotte and Elaine will work. So, and I would say those two pilots are the only two pilots that you should use on it. Even in NC right now, these two pilots are the only pilots that you ever use on it. I mean, obviously some other pilots will work as well. You know, Becca's Away can definitely work on it. Edith Awaken even, or some other DPS pilot will work on it. But for now, those two are the best pilot in my opinion. So, alright, so that's the PvE build. Let's get into the PvP builds. Let me answer some questions. I mean, the upgrade order for Bahamut. Again, in my opinion, I don't think order matters when you're already gonna get A star, in my opinion. But if you really want one, I guess action, weapon, and yeah, action, or actually action, weapon, and chassis, in my opinion. That's how it should work. So, and you would need all three in PvP. So, in both PvP, oh no, you need all three in PvP. Actually, yeah, for both you need all three. Maybe you can get away with it in PvP if you don't have the chassis, but you're missing out on 60% more damage, or almost 70% more damage. So yeah, definitely get A star. Like, I would say upgrade order doesn't even matter when the unit is complete at A star. So yeah. Alright, so PvP builds. PvP builds it gets a little bit iffy because it really depends on what you're using Bahamut for and what your team or the meta or the meta time that they're in. But for Ian right now, I think Rhea would definitely work because again, Bahamut stay in the back most of the time, even though it does go into the enemy, but it does have a lot of skill that makes it, that makes it come back as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna build it where if you're using Rhea for now, right? So if you're using Rhea, I will go for something like hydraulics. So hydraulics, you spend more action, so you do more DPS, and of course when you're using more action, you're also in iframe, so that's also really good. However, you can obviously always go for something such as the heal core, just so you get more HP, and when your HP falls under 100%, you also heal a little bit more, or you also heal some damage to just to increase your survivability, just to increase your survivabilities. So this is something that I can do, but I would say hydraulic is still better because hydraulic does give you it can also give you more damage potential as well. So. And there isn't really any other core that I would recommend, because the thing about Majin Core is, again, Majin Core really doesn't benefit you a lot aside from the initial burst. After that, it will just be useless. So yeah, Hydraulics Core works for the entire duration of the battle, and same thing with the heal core. And for the bullet, it's also very interesting. I am using Ether Show just because I'm doing a lot of action. I'm also doing a lot of range damage. So if the enemy did get caught not in iframe when they get blasted by the cannons, then you can potentially one shot enemy if you're lucky enough. But there are so many other skills so many other parts that you can put on Bahamut. You can use the SP, the SP shell to debuff the enemy a little bit. You can use even the claw, but the thing with claw is that Bahamut doesn't really do that much melee damage, so claw wouldn't work. But it is an option I can go for. But I think if you're using claw, absorption shell might be slightly better than claw at this case, because again, it is a mix. it is the all-rounder mecha that isn't focused on melee damage. You can go for, let me see. Honestly, yeah. SP Shell, Absorb Shell, Claw, even Ether Shell. These are all the ones they can try on. But I think Ether Shell and PvP are still better because Bahamut does huge damage, and even though Bahamut, I'm pretty sure it does have a lot of some potentially pseudo grab or just grab or just fair grab or force knockdown in general. However, I think having Ether Shell is just better in case if the enemy gets caught or gets CC'd, and you can just one-shot the enemy if you're lucky enough. So, and now for the support, obviously just go for emergency detach. As I heard somebody already said before, Bahamut, some people Bahamut does die early on, which it can happen because aside from the CC reduction for the enemies, it really doesn't have anything else defensive for him. Compared to some other mecha that have built-in defensive systems. So having this skill on can reliably keep it from being bursted by the enemies, even though if you have Iria, you shouldn't be bursted anyway. So, but yeah, you can probably go for Chassis Stabilizer if you don't have emergency detach, but I highly recommend using emergency detach just to prevent your Bahamut from dying. Bahamut usually stay behind, so it might not have that much of a chance from being knocked out anyway. So yeah. And then now we have the what's called the armor. Armor obviously from steel. There isn't really anything else to it. If your pilots already have a firm steel, or if your co-pilot or pet are using a firm steel skill, obviously you can go for something like a tuning fork. But that's about it. And now for the coding. Now coding is interesting because you would want the aggro code. Now, why do you want the aggro code when if the enemy targets Bahamut, they'll get debuffed, right? Well, in my opinion, right, it's different from Lilith. Bahamut's action CD extend, it's more there to save itself versus to debuff the enemy because, yeah, like again, first of all, even though it's mainly there to when Bahamut is targeted, the enemy wouldn't be able to use an action right away to kill Bahamut. That's, in my opinion, the best, or it's more of a lifesaver versus a debuff tool, in my opinion, or at least from my experience back in NC. So Bahamut in general still doesn't want to get targeted most of the time because after the 2 seconds over, again, there isn't much things preventing even a Justice Magenta or a Himiko or anything to just maul Bahamut to death. Because again, Bahamut does not have anything inherent to prevent him from dying. Aside from pilot skill or aside from your builds, which most most other mecha can have the same effect, but on top with the defensive ability. So yeah. So just heads up. So in my opinion, I still think it's better to have the aggro code on to the on the Bahamut, because again the default skill are really there to also keep Bahamut alive. So. But if your Bahamut is already living, is already living the life, and you want Bahamut to be a debuff unit, then yeah, sure, you can probably use something like Tutor Armor to prevent, to just reduce some damage, or even something like Battle Code if your pilot are using, or if your pilot needs active skill. So yeah. Or even liquid armor if you're if you don't want your Bahamut to be bursted and stuff like that. So, but usually I still want to go with the aggro just to be safe. And then pet, obviously Scorpion, there isn't really much, or it's not too different from PvE, just more damage and more CC abilities, in PvP as well. But in PvP, You can obviously also go for Pisces. Pisces just to further increase its survivability from because your Bahamut will probably be doing a lot of damage, just by catching an enemy off guard. So Pisces is also a good choice to use, just to keep your Bahamut even more alive if your Bahamut is struggling to survive, right? Or if you don't have Scorpion, then obviously you can use Pisces as well. So yeah. And there isn't really much other parts or pets that I think are worthy. Obviously, you can go for the usual crab. You can go for something like, GA229 anti-knockdown. You can obviously go for, something that can increase even more action cooldowns, or just some other things. But I don't think anything can really beat Pisces and Scorpion on Bahamut. So, yeah. And now for Cobra skill. Now, Cobra skill really depends on your pilot as well. I'm using this new pilot for EN just so when your Bahamut is not doing damage, that you'll heal a good amount of HP. So and I would say for Cobra skill, just generally go for something defensive. I think will be good, just so you can increase your Bahamut's survivabilities, so you can be doing damage and doing debuff and stuff. And again, Rhea, in my opinion, are the best pilot in EN right now, just because Rhea doesn't want to die. Rhea doesn't want to die. Rhea is a support. Rhea is a support pilot, and Bahamut does go behind. Does go pretty far from the main battle usually, and of course it does have at least some measure on defending himself, and also it doesn't require the pilot to do well, or to do damage in PvP specifically. So yeah. So that's why I think Rhea is the best. Obviously, you can go for some other pilots as well. You can go to Elaine. Yeah, then go for Elaine if you want to. Elaine does have skill. Then you can go for something like, I don't know, even Rewind. Yeah, you can even go for Rewind in EN if you want to, or just some other Cobra skill, or some support like Love, or Love, or just some others, support skill low in PvP. And of course, even Becas. Everyone have Becas, so if you want to put Becas in PvP as well, go for it. Melulu as well. Melulu might even work pretty well, because Melulu have a 4th taunt. Now, as I said before, Bahamut doesn't want to be taunted, but since Melulu are so tanky as a pilot, then you can effectively make Bahamut as a CC unit, because Melulu can keep Bahamut alive even if the whole world is targeting it, and Bahamut can be doing the debuff onto the enemy. So it really depends on the pilots, I guess, too. So yeah. I'll get into that when the Melulu does come in EN to explain on that more, but just know in PvP, you can really also, have Bahamut do a lot of different things. But just know that Bahamut does not require the pilot to do damage, so you don't need to worry about that. It's more so what the pilot is doing on the, on Bahamut, I guess. So. And yeah, I would say, as long as you're not using something like Linda in PvP, then you should be fine. Yeah, you can put on, I don't know, Shin-Oh, probably not Snow. Snow is too PvP focused. Parasite is also too, yeah, you should know, like, if you're awakening pilots, you should know which one will work better on them. I'm just saying, right? I mean, obviously the best one is Rhea, Elaine, Melulu, right? Stuff like that, but you just don't use something that doesn't make sense. Like, for example, don't use like Linda. I mean, Linda by default is not going to PvP, but don't use something like that in comparing with Bahamut. It should be fine. Everything, yeah, it's not too picky about pilots. You can put on Edith if you want to put that. Edith should be a pretty good fit. And yeah, so yeah, I don't think I need to talk anymore about this one. Hopefully people already know. So I put on Melulu just so that, because Melulu Bahamut is something that people does use a lot back then. So alright, so I think that concludes this the PvP builds. Let me answer some questions. If for Bunny, oh god. Can I use Linda Big Sword in PvE? Yes. In PvE, yes. However, in PvE, Elaine are usually the best because Elaine not just buff the melee part. Elaine also buff all of his damage because you know, Bahamut's damage come from both range and melee, right? So Linda is too focused on melee, so only like 50% or 60% of the damage will be buffed by Linda. The other 40% or 50% wouldn't be touched at all. So, but for Elaine, right? Elaine can buff the entirety of the damage up, right? So yeah, so that's the reason why, you know, Elaine is better in versus Linda. Like Linda, just let Linda on Dante, or some other, you know, more melee focused DPS. So PvP wise, should I get Bahamut or just wait for Qitian? That's an interesting question. Now, I think Qitian is better. Yeah, I don't think, you know, Bahamut is strong. It's not, but it's not a necessity. Yeah, but Bahamut is strong, but it's not a necessity like Lilith. Or yeah, it's strong, but it's not a necessity. So yeah, Qitian is still the best, I think. Yeah, hard choice to be honest. Yeah, both going wrong. Yeah, the thing is, Bahamut is not a must-have. Yeah, Bahamut is not a must-have. It's really strong. It will benefit your team a lot. It will help you on everything. It do damage, it do CCs, it do, you know, this and that. It can be a support carry, it can be a DPS dealer, it can be any part of carry, right? But even with all this, it's not a must-have, right? It's not a must-have. It doesn't replace anything in your team, I should say, or it doesn't need to replace any team. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like for example, right? Right now, there's more uses in Bahamut versus Qitian in NC meta. That's the reason. But the reason why is because the role for Bahamut is or the role for Qitian is replaced. It's not that Qitian is worse than Bahamut. It's that they do different things, right? They kind of do different things. You know, Bahamut is like a brawler combined with just giving your opponents attack like a bad time with all the clones and stuff like that. And also a tank. But those roles are taken by, you know, by Mazinger Zero or some other, you know, melee units, right? Odin and stuff like that, right? And it's not that Bahamut is stronger. It's just that the role is taken. So, you know, yeah. You can definitely make it more. Yes, you can. Yeah. I believe I believe JP Wiki does use that ability. Like for example, you can change it to the super weapon thing. That works. Yeah. That can work. Now, how effective it is, you know, that will be up to debate. But because, you know, I think Elaine does not have that skill. I think, right? So let me put on Soka, and then let me see how. Yeah, so yeah, Elaine does not have that skill, I believe. When Elaine are the best pilot on it, so let me see. It should be in support, right? But okay, well, I know which one you're talking about. The change to the mix type thing that works. This one actually, Elaine does have this. Now, yeah, okay. Oh, actually, yeah. Hold on. The thing about Elaine is that, right? Elaine already buffed both, right? Elaine already buffed both type of damage, right? So, using this skill on might not be as necessary because Elaine already buffed both type, and you know, Greta also buffed both types. So yeah, the only time that can probably work is if you're using Linda or some other things on it. But I don't know if Linda's skill will actually work after that. So, well, yeah, that needs some testing, honestly, I think. But yeah, for now, yeah, if you don't have Greta and if you have her, then yeah, I think you can definitely try it. So yeah, good question. Yeah, good question. Bahamut, T-posing Mecha must get forced then. T-posing, Alright, well, is there any question on Bahamut? I think I talked about a lot of things. So also, if you're using Linda on Bahamut, just know when you use Linda's active skill, the old active skill, it does increase his rank. It does increase his wings for some reason. I think it's because the wings are considered the fist part of the thing. So, that's why it got better. that's why it got bigger. So very interesting. Is there anything else? I guess for now it's just if you're doing boss conquest, right? If you don't want to use Helper's Team, you can probably get one copy of it and then just and just kind of like be here for a few times. Oh my god, I got 10,000. I got 10,000 views now because yeah, if you're again, if you're free to play or if you're a new player, I really wouldn't recommend getting Bahamut. But if you're free to play, you can consider getting either 1 or 8 or 8-star. Yeah, either 1 copy or 8-star, because for 8-star, it will just benefit your team a lot. But just make sure you save some enough for Chitian and for at least Mazinger collab, right? And if you are free to play, and if you don't want to commit this hard, then I would suggest just get 1 copy, so you can deal with any bosses without relying on the PV, without relying on helper teams, because you'll guarantee to do 15% more damage. And if you don't want to waste any gems, you can just wait. You can just do it 10 times or something, and any boss you can kill it. So and what else? Oh, and if you're a top player, then just get it. I would just get it. Just get 8-star, because Bahamut will just benefit your team a lot. And Bahamut can also be very. It's an all-rounder, I guess. So it'll be a really good benefit to your team. Even now, it's still being used. So yeah. Probably not as much, but it's still being used. So. Oh yeah, right. And the funnel build. So if you're building for funnel, it depends on the pilot that you're using it to funnel with. Just something like this will work, or just have this build, like this exact build right here. That the activating the active shield instantly build. Just copy this build onto Bahamut with the pilot on, and you should be fine. And for the Cobra skill, obviously just something that just once, right? Like Lolo skill, or just some other support skill that can benefit the team, and that will be your funnel build for if you want to kill your Bahamut to do the 15% damage. So yeah. Oh no, thanks. Well, but also welcome. All right, I think that's finally everything about Bahamut. Make sure to ask me any questions if you have any questions. For now, I'm gonna try to roll for some. I'm gonna use all my tickets. That I got. So, Snag, welcome. Yeah, welcome, everybody, welcome. Man, feeling so tired. Oh, there's 10 of this. No less. Alright, let's do some rollings. Let's get 4. 4. Yep. So I got 50 rolls. Okay, so I got 50 rolls on 50 rolls on this unit on Leviathan. So let's see what I can get. Alright, 50 rolls. First 10 roll. Can you do a build that focuses on the beam penalty attack? You mean the huge cannon, right? Yeah, the build that I showed you are that. Yeah, the build that I showed you are that, because the build that I showed you, in PvP at least, are action spams. So in order for you to activate that cannon as much as possible, just put hydraulics. However, if you want to spam that attack, first of all, it's pretty impossible to make a spam that attack, I should say, because how do you say it? Because it's RNG, I should say. So I think it's pretty hard to make a spam that attack specifically, but you can make it do as fast as possible by putting something like Divine Empress Awaken. That Divine Empress Awaken plus hydraulics, like the build that shows you in PvP, and that will work. Just know that that build will probably not work in PvP, because will not work in PvE because in PvE you will want to use Majin. You want to use Majin core, the Majin final damage increase core. So yeah. Hello December. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, no see. Yeah. So yeah. So if the huge beam cannon thing is what you were talking about, then just use hydraulics. And that would be the best thing you can really go for. If you want to spam that action as much as possible. So yeah. I really do wish we can use that action like all the time though. That action looks a lot strong, like very strong. So. Alright, last 50 roll or last 20 rolls. Let's see if we can get at least one. Don't tell me in 50 rolls we couldn't even get one. So, oh my. Alright, last 10 roll. At least for this stream, I probably will at least get it to A star or something on Leviathan. What's by both pal? What do you mean? Come on. Oh, I got one actually. I got one. Wow, that was tough to get. Holy crap. Let me see. Yeah. 50 roll for one, that's average I think. But gosh, man, holy crap, that was something else. Okay, hang on, let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Why is the Leviathan so low? Under. Okay, what? Hang on. Where is Leviathan? Hold on. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Have I got anything else lately? No, I don't think so. Yeah, just Wushan. I didn't even have quite long yet. Okay, so interesting. What is this weapon? It has these two, so it's oh wow, so Leviathan might need A star too. Holy crap. Okay, in and out. Oh well, for some of them, I keep them as toys. So yeah, so many communes, yeah. Leviathan, we'll see though. I don't know about it yet because I haven't been PvP that much. So yeah, I believe it should at least perform okay. Yeah, that'd be 10. Yeah. If you have Bahamut as your main damage dealer, what mechs would you use for support? Okay, so the thing about that is, your Bahamut. Oh well, hold on. For PvP or PvE? In PvE, the support will be the usual Wushan Retrofit and hello 2-card. Yeah. So for either our Wushan, or I guess the best support will be Wushan Retrofit and Lycoris. These two are the best support for not just Bahamut, but for every other mecha in the game. So if that's what we're talking about, that's the best, the optimal support for the game. And then your DPS will be Bahamut and whoever Linda is on, because Linda plus melee DPS are just too high. So yeah, 2 DPS, 1 Bahamut, and 1 other, whichever unit that you want to use, and and the 2 support. And if in PvP though, your Bahamut doesn't need a support to do damage. So even if you have a support pilot on Bahamut, it will do damage. So yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it in PvP. But in PvE, the best one is Lycoris and Wushan support and Wushan Retrofit. So How many stars do Leviathan need to be, or the Leviathan need to be good? I think A star. Yeah, seeing its upgrade pattern, it seems like A star. Yeah, it really seems like A star now. So yeah. Alright, so should I roll for more? Should I roll for more, or should I wait for whatever mecha that might come next? Not really interested in Quailong too. So I guess I just, yeah. I guess on this account at least, I think I'll call it. I'm gonna go on my other account to roll on my other account. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna close this one, and I'm gonna change account. Come on. Also, do you guys have any more questions? If not, I will be calling a day soon. So yeah. Come on. Why is it taking so long to load? NC's always so long to load. Alright, there you go. 40. Okay, I got more rolls on this account. So let me guess. So I got again another 50 rolls. Yeah, but always happen. Yeah, thank you, December, thank you. Alright, 50 rolls on this one. Alright, 10 roll first. Yeah, after finish rolling, I'll be calling a day. So let me know if you guys have any more questions, right? So. Oh my god, for this account I got it immediately. I think it's time to. Hold on. Let me keep some of this. I think that's good. Do I have anything else? Alright. Alright, 30 more. Go. So many sins, holy crap. Oh my god, huge bird. Alright. That's 20. Go back to change the thing again. Yeah. Alright, last enroll. Any more questions, guys? If no questions, I'll call it a timestamp for the video will be out soon. Yeah. Alright, well, seems like one copy for both. That's not too bad, honestly. So, well, yeah. Thank you, thank you all so much for being here. Goodbye. Yeah, thank you all so much. Yeah, later. See ya. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.